All right, welcome to the New Arenas, episode 13. Ryan, we're back, my friend. How you doing?
Very good. It's been about a 3-week hiatus for both of us, but we are back and ready to go. And the Hype GVA Accelerator is coming down to the conclusion.
Well, yeah, and it's cool to see now because for this whole thing's been new to me anyway. It's not like I had any idea how any of this works. Like when we were first talking about doing the show, you're like, so yeah, the way this works is we're getting all these teams and these companies together. We're gonna try to make stuff happen. I'm like, I don't know what this is, but it sounds fun. So to go on this ride now and start to learn the landscape over these last couple of weeks has been really cool. And obviously one of the guys we're talking to today is somebody that has gone through a lot as well. So like this is really cool. I guess if you want to line up or introduce who the guests are.
So we have a super exciting announcement today. The very first pilot to be announced to the world. We have Flashplays, Parth from Boston, and then Kim Rometo, the VP and CIO of the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins, we had their final pitch day with the Dolphins about a week ago. And the 6 startups that Kim had selected to go down a path. One of them was pronounced the quote unquote winner, and they are going to describe the pilot today and what that's about. 2 of them are still in the running to win a pilot that might be announced by September 8th. And then 3 of them, still good news for all 3 of them. One they're introducing to some other people. Another one they're going to do something potentially with them later on. So it's all good stories, but one winner, potentially 3, and then 3 others just not for them at the moment.
Okay, so yeah, a whole lot going on. I guess we'll get right into it. This is New Arenas, episode 13. We are powered by Fist.
Next up, we have actually our first quote-unquote winning pilot. So Parth Valecha from Flashplays. We spoke to Parth earlier in the, I want to say season, but earlier in the, this whole entire program. And then joining him from the Miami Dolphins, Kim Rometo. VP and CIO of the Dolphins. Hello, Kim. Good to see you again. So Parth and Kim, let's just talk about kind of how you got here. It's been roughly an 8-week journey. Parth, maybe you can just start with kind of what is Flashplays for the audience, for those that may not have saw episode 1 or may not have been flying around. Just describe what Flashplays is.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, Vince, Ryan. So Flashplays is a real-time game of skill where fans make predictions during sports games and they compete with other fans on who's going to do best on those predictions. The whole idea of Flashplays is to make fans that are watching a game, give them an active social and personal experience while they watch games. If you look at today's sports gaming, whether that be DFS or betting, the main problems you have is they struggle to really entice the younger audiences in that everything is pre-game, so you can't do anything during the game. They're also, they have very limited social interaction. You can't compete against anyone, you can't chat with anyone, and also they're very impersonal. If you place a bet or you go on DraftKings, it's never about you. It's always about how the company is going to take money from you. At Flashplays, we try to flip that over its head, really create a real-time game where, as a fan, you're answering questions with thousands, hundreds of thousands of other fans watching the same game as you. The questions can be something like, will Tua have a passing touchdown in the next quarter? Anything from that to how many yards will the Dolphins get? How many rushing yards will the Dolphins get in the second half? Anything like that. Now you have thousands of fans all at the same time answering this question. They're discussing the question on chats and threads. They're analyzing the stats that you can pull up from our app to make that prediction and make an educated guess. And from there, you get points if you get the prediction right. You compete with other fans. You can chat with them. You can brag about your statistics. You can earn badges, skins, all these cool things that you just don't have in today's sports gaming world.
Cool. So Parth, thank you for that. Kim, let's just shift down to you. So we haven't had you on the program before. Obviously, we know you've been on with Amir, and we had you on the Amir show in the very beginning with Christian and others. And I know you're on mute, just by the way. What were your thoughts on, the overall program, the quality of the startups, and just how it's been working for you?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating experience, Ryan. I've really enjoyed the time spent, especially as we continue to work through our back to football eh, plan. And really what was important to me is when we had the pitch day and understanding what each of the startups was bringing, is understanding if their product or their idea met my use case, the Dolphins use case. So we looked across the org, identified potential use cases for those pitches, and where we found possibilities, are those were really the six startups that I had selected. Then as we've gone through the last 8 weeks, talked about pilots, talked about what made sense, Parth and Flashplays made a lot of sense for one particular use case. And then we've got another one that's going to be right on its heels. So we found value in the accelerator. We found companies that we wouldn't have probably found otherwise, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been fun pulling in other colleagues in the business to say, hey, does this fit? Does this work for you? Can you, in the case of Flashplays, we want to have really great fan engagement and fulfillment on pricing. Hey, can we do this? Can we target this fan group? Can we, create something really special for them to be able to engage with each other and compete and predict and also celebrate their fandom. So yes, it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm excited that we get to announce Flash Plays, and then we'll probably like I said, have another one or two right on the heels of this announcement.
Eventually,
So it's been
we
great.
can have that announcement at the demo day on September 8th would be great.
Yes.
That's part of the reason why I was kind of okay to announce breaking news here that Flash Plays won a pilot with the Dolphins. So Parth, how did you scope out this pilot? What are you hoping to achieve, Parth? And then we'll talk to you, Kim, about kind of your goals and what you want to do. So Parth, what was the objective for even joining the program as a whole? I mean,
Right.
Step back. If you go back to our very first conversation, it was, are you a B2C or are you B2B? And that was the very first question I had for you when we selected you.
Yeah. So when we first talked about whether it would be B2C or B2B, right now, before this, we were fully B2C, and we had always looked into B2B as a potential opportunity. We were just waiting for the right time, and we didn't know how that would look. We didn't know how we'd enter the industry. We were very much, when we started this startup, and still are to a degree, a bit of an outsider to the industry. None of us have internal experience. We've had to build a fresh network from the ground up. And Hype really became, for us, the starting point of building that network, of growing our presence within the industry. And working with the Dolphins, Kim, working with you has really become like the first, second, and third step. It's been like leaps within how we've been able to enter in the industry, create some noise, take our insights with the consumers, which we have many, and we've been very successful working with the consumer and converting that into value for the industry. What we obviously want to do with the Dolphins is start with engaging and activating Dolphins fans, right? Especially from home. With COVID going around, everyone is looking for community. Everyone is looking for fan activation. They can't get that anymore, right? Not only can you not go to a stadium, it's hard to go to a bar. It's hard to have your friends come over to your house, right? So at every level of fan activation and community, it's now more difficult. And we are really poised to do that first before anything else. And then from there, we go into layers of other types of fan engagement, whether that's wagering, right, in games of skill, whether that's buying merchandise or engaging with sponsorships or engaging with players. Those are additional layers that can be added on over time to this fan engagement platform.
Okay. Vince, did you have a question?
Well, here, Kim, I've got a question for you, actually. So here's my first thing is I'm wondering, just for you, when Parth gives the presentation, you're seeing Flash Plays for the first time and really getting a feel for it. Like, what was your reaction just as he was presenting that made it connect with you?
I think the thing was that they put the pitch together and highlighted dolphins within the pitch, and I could imagine myself as a fan and enjoying the experience. Like I said, I thought, well, I could answer those questions. I could see myself winning and engaging with other fans. So for me, it was a personal connection of how I would want to engage with something, and then I thought about how our fans, love to engage with one another. We have the largest Facebook official fans group in any sport. So we're really proud of that, and that's a group that we celebrate. We've done a lot of special activities in that group, like our virtual draft party. So I know how those fans, engage with one another and how they engage with the brand, and the Flashplays piece just seemed like a logical fit of fan celebration and pride, and then also the prizing that goes along with it. So that's what hooked me at first, is just understanding our fan base and that they would really enjoy engaging with this platform.
Well, yeah, and one of the things that I've seen, just an observation, for me, because when I'm watching a game, my whole thing is I'm supposed to be on Twitter during the game to see what other fans are saying, see what reporters are saying about a team, and people are commenting all throughout the game. They're holding their phone in their hands all throughout the game. And so to have that kind of opportunity where people can have flash plays and now they're actively engaged in it because you've got this extra element, it's just something that when Parth first presented this idea, I looked at it, I was like, wow, this just makes all the sense in the world, especially for an NFL game. You have so much time. It's a 3-hour game. So to get people locked in for that amount of time is a really amazing thing to do. And flash plays is something that seems to really accomplish that.
And it does allow us to also celebrate fandom outside of the South Florida region. We've got, I think, 91 different countries represented in our fans group. So we want fans in the UK and in other places to be able to enjoy watching the game and enjoy that interaction as well.
So within that Facebook group, there's 91 countries. Any idea? Are they mostly American, or are they can you throw out a random country? Is it a Czech Republic or a Estonian or
we have a lot of representation in the UK. We've got a lot of representation in Brazil and Mexico. So yes, there are pockets
as well. Houses in Miami. A lot of my friends who are Brazilians have places in Miami, and they're huge Dolphins fans.
Exactly.
That does make sense, and he's a huge Dolphins fan. So Kim, coming back to you and the overall program, you looked at flash plays, and maybe do you want to just comment 1 or 2 sentences about some of the other startups you're talking to and kind of where you kind of, not quite where you stand, just what they could do or what use case they might be fitting?
Yeah, one of the other ones that I talked about being close on the heels of Flashplays is Pronto, and they offer a really unique management platform to do virtual passes, like you'd experience with airline tickets and other things in your Apple, your Google Wallet. It really presents a new communication medium for us to have that direct communication with our season ticket members and others, and it's a very simplistic platform. It also gives us the ability to represent our sponsors in a new and different way. So that's one that we're finalizing as well right now, and our marketing team is also very excited about.
Fantastic. And then Parth, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you fit out the form of who your targets were of the 13 partners, the Dolphins were your number 1 choice, correct?
Yeah, and by far.
So you came into this wanting the Dolphins. Kim came into this just wanting cool idea. Yeah. I think I checked both boxes, and you can say this is one of the better success stories. There's plenty of other success stories, but this is a phenomenal one. That's all. A, I'm glad it's first. B, Parth, you're the first one to officially be announced a winner of a pilot, but you're not the first one to get a contract signed. As I did tell you, David from Emaze, who we're going to have on tomorrow, got his contract signed actually with Real Sociedad. So Kim, they're not a part of the official group, but I'm a part of the thing called Sports Innovation Alliance, which is 22 football clubs around the world. Juan and I sat down with all the clubs, and we picked out a couple, and David presented. We'll have him and Juan on tomorrow. So David actually got his signed contract. Now, Parth, I've been telling you, how far along are you with getting the contract signed, and where does that sit, Parth?
We are a signature away. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. We just got the contract today. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the feeling for you, Parth? I mean, you develop this whole thing. You get into this accelerator. The Dolphins are your number one choice. You get picked up by the Dolphins. Like, that's such a cool story. Like, how do you feel right now?
It's a crazy story. So what really happened with us is we coming into hype, coming into the boot camp, we sat there. We actually had a pretty rough run of luck before hype, before Ryan and Kim and everyone. And we were sitting there, and our mantra was actually pick 199, being from Boston, where we felt like we did better than every single one of our competitors. For whatever reason, they were getting funding, mainly because they were, veteran entrepreneurs from Silicon Valley. We're just a couple kids from Boston. And we really felt like we were very overlooked. And then, so we kept having this mantra of pick 199. Ryan saw us. He brought us in. He's like, let's give these kids a shot. Then we saw everyone present, and we're like, we want to get the Dolphins. We came in, we're like, football's the one we know. Football and basketball are the two main sports we know. The Warriors didn't really seem like a big fit for us right off the bat. So we're like, the Dolphins it is. And when we heard Kim talk on her 1 hour webinar, and she was talking about what she was looking for, me and my co-founders were like, wait, that's us. Like, that is us.
Check.
Everything she's talking about is what we do.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, wait, maybe your luck's changing. Maybe things are turning around. And then we're a B2C company. We don't know how to pitch B2B. We kept having to revise the pitch 24 hours before the pitch. We show it to Ryan. Ryan's like, this is not it. Like, this is not how you sell to a business at all. This is clearly a B2C pitch. So in like 24 hours, we had to completely change it. We all pulled all-nighters. We figured out a pitch that we thought worked for businesses. We talked to a couple of our advisors, and then we pitched it, and we're like, we threw the Blue Jays in there too, because we were interested in them. And we're like, all right, hopefully this is enough to get a team, ideally the Dolphins. And it was. And we got it, and we're like, all right, we got our team. Now we got one. Now we just got to get 1 out of 1. We just got to get the partnership. And at every step of the way, we did just enough and got just lucky enough. And we had enough people give us that opportunity to be, pick 199.
I would say you're selling yourself a little short. The original, although you might have Ryan, I know, gave great advice throughout the process, and he was an excellent resource for all of us. But the pitch that you did originally, it was a hook. It was a great. I mean, you spent time on the visuals. You made it so that I could see how the Dolphins could market it to our fans and be for our fans. So I wouldn't sell yourself too short. You spent the time, you expended the energy, and it definitely caught my eye enough to then warrant the conversation and the deeper dive. So the team is very excited about seeing. I think everybody on this call knows the proof is in the pudding. So we'll see how the season goes, Vince, and maybe we come back for a look mid-season and tell you how it's going. But we are excited to celebrate with our fans.
I'm not complete. Actually, let me ask the question I want to have first. The question for you, Kim, what are your goals? Or I don't know if you have any specific KPIs, but what are you hoping to achieve out of this? Is there specific numbers, or is it just engagement? Is it we want 25% of those 60,000 Facebook? Do you want 80? What's your overall objective in this?
Yes. I think we want the minimum we would want is 10,000. We want 10,000 fans that are engaging with the platform. That is the hope and the goal. And we have some KPIs established that again, Vince, when we come back on, we can probably speak to that. But that is our goal. And we set up the Flashplays team took a lot of time to help our team understand, given the number of fans, the number of questions, the number of the amount of engagement, then what our budget would look like for pricing and fulfillment to make sure that we also could stay within our budgets. As you know, right now that is very important with some of the budget constraints that we are all facing. So we wanted to make sure that we had all that information, and the team really helped walk through that process, and we found a good spot. But yes, engagement is number one for us, and 10,000 is that threshold number that we're hoping to meet and exceed pretty rapidly.
Well, let me ask you this, because you guys said you're a signature away from getting the contract done, right? So you've been talking, you're just about to make everything final. So the NFL season's in just a couple of weeks. Like, what is the process going to be for you guys over these next couple of weeks? How hectic is this going to be? What is it going to be like to get this all together on time?
I can take that one.
Yeah, because it's you.
Yeah. So the process is mostly on our part in terms of development. We're pretty close to ready to begin development. We've just been finishing up the main parts of the consumer app. We did delay certain parts to get the Dolphins in a little earlier. And for us, what's neat is we designed this year's product for the next year to be based off of very similar code base as our main app. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking the code base from our main app, from our consumer app, the original one, and taking out certain features, replacing certain features, and then changing up the UI a little bit, and it'll be ready. It should take a couple weeks. The main issue, which Ryan pointed out a couple of times with Kim and I, is the approval process, right? Because we're going to be using Dolphins trademarks, Dolphins logos all over the app. So we need to be ahead of that process when submitting to the App Store. So that's something where Kim and I have to work on together in making sure that the Apple is aware of the fact that we are in fact affiliated and working together on this. Yeah.
So just to recap, Kim, you're gonna have to go in a second. This all kicks off the first home game. Is that correct? And that's versus the Bills?
That's correct. It's on the 20th. Yep, September 20th.
Got it. So before that, you beat the Patriots. You're going to come in 1-0. You're playing the Bills. And how do you anticipate? Because obviously, Parth, we know you're a Patriots fan. So we're going to have the Dolphins beat the Patriots in week 1. You're 1-0. Tua is now the next big star. 25,000 people are playing this app. Is that gold for you? Or are you saying this is unbelievable? Or kind of, coming into that, what's the promotion, I guess, around it? How's this going out? Is it tied to something of the first game? We're back, the fans are back, and by the way, we have this and this type of thing.
Yeah, so it is part of our social communication strategy. That will be our primary mechanism of communication for Flashplays. To start, we have, as you can imagine, returning to play, we have a lot of messaging that has to go out to our fans for social distancing and for all of the new requirements that go into effect for the season. So we'll be marketing on social, the Flashplays product and the engagement there, and then we'll be using our other communication channels to message other things that we have to for the transactional nature of the season. So yeah, 25,000 fans playing would be tremendous, and then I think that the goal at that point is that we want to sustain across the period of time. We don't want people to play the first time and then drop out. We want to constantly monitor engagement and incentivize people to return. We want them to share the prizes that they redeem. We want them to engage with one another, and then have that the chat throughout the game as well.
Great. Kim, I want to be conscious of time. I know you have a hard stop, so we'll let you go. Thank you very much for coming on. We will see you September 8th at the demo day. We'll be talking again about who you selected, what you went through. We'll probably hopefully have another announcement there in addition to Flashplays, but look forward to diving more into this at the demo day. So Great. Thank you, Kim. Parth, stay on and we'll continue talking with you.
Yeah, thanks, Kim.
Ryan, Vince, thanks for having me. Y'all take care.
You too.
So Parth, you did mention earlier you had a mentor. Let's give a little shout out, and maybe you can talk about who your mentor was and how she helped you and kind of what she does.
So our mentor is Tracy DeForge of the Players Impact. She's incredible. She is absolutely amazing. Um, we've had, I think, you've seen the amount of progress we've made, and I'm surprised by it. I'm not the biggest pro accelerator guy, to be honest. I've never been huge into accelerators, but this one, working with Tracy, working with you, it's been such an incredible time.
And to be honest, Vince, you haven't really seen, all you've heard is the product. You haven't seen the behind the scenes of how the story has changed. Behind the scenes on how selling to Kim, getting it to where she actually buys it, and all the calls we've had with Kim, because a lot goes into, I've been on calls with Parth and his team, and they're talking back and forth to Kim, how's this going to work? What if too many people win a prize? We have so many budgets. Like, the Dolphins have a fixed amount of prizes and a fixed amount of budget. And they're like, well, what if everybody wins? And Parth's like, well, it's not going to happen. Well, how can you assure it? Well, we can make the questions harder. Well, okay, well, we need more than that. How do we make the questions harder? And maybe we give, instead of a multiple choice question, it's 3 answers or four choices instead of 3.
Right.
All that has, Parth, jump in here, but you have an algorithm behind all of it, which tells you the percentage of people who can possibly win. And you have a history in knowing, what's feasible and what's not feasible.
Yeah. So it was nice using our consumer facing data, our main app. The data from there, we just took the percentages from there and put it into an algorithm. If we ever wanted to make it more difficult, we just add more options to the questions and run it through the algorithm to see how many winners. We also started structuring the prizes very differently than original. So we used to have grand prizes, right? If you could just get a prize, boom, right then and there. What we did instead is a credit system, which would allow us to much easily regulate the amount of prizes that are going out. Because now it's credits, it's kind of going through us. We give them credits, and then they use credits to redeem prizes. So little things like that would.
Share what some of the prizes are, just for Vince's sake. Give us some idea. Signed jerseys, game jerseys, balls. I've heard it all. Yep.
So I'll tell you what we're doing this year, and then things we've been talking about in the future years, because COVID has affected our ability to do certain prizes. So for this year, we have 10 credit prizes, 20 credit prizes, and 25 credit prizes. The 10 credit prizes are around the $25 range. The 20 credit prizes are around that $60 range, and the 25 credit prizes are the really cool stuff that I like personally. Those ones include a custom jersey where you can have your name on it and so on. Yeah.
Authentic real custom jersey.
That's amazing.
And then that, or the other option is you can actually get a player worn T-shirt and hat. Yeah.
With a sweat.
Yeah, I wanted post-practice in the Miami heat. Like, that's what I want a guy just drenched in. I want it to be still dripping when I take it out of the package. That's what I'm looking for. That's awesome, though.
Full of Corona.
Yeah. What we plan to do in the future is, so we had restrictions on having fresh signatures. So the player worn stuff that we're talking about is like previous year, things like that. Yeah. We can't have stuff like fresh signatures. We wanted to do fresh signature jerseys.
Yeah, because the players, there's a whole thing of signing with pens, and they just want to avoid that. It's not that they couldn't do it, but there is, look, anything that's involved contacts, let's just and even the really cool money can't buy experiences that we talked about, Parth, coming on the field at halftime, coming into the locker room, all those amazing fun money can't buy experiences. Oh, sorry.
There we go. Someone just won a prize right now. What do you know?
It must be a Bayern fan. Did someone just score? Maybe Bayern or So yeah, all the money can't buy experience. That'll come later. And then Vince also, Parth and I have talked about this. We've talked to the Dolphins about it. Eventually, Miami or Florida is not a state yet for actual betting, but eventually it's a money prize. Most of Parth's prizes right now for the B2C, it's cash. You almost you put in $5, you have a chance to win $50.
And it's like we talked about last time, Vince. You remember this conversation. As a game of skill, you can do a lot of these things right now in a lot of states, right? As the other stuff gets legalized, you do get to be a step ahead, right? Being a game of skill. So we get that advantage too.
Yeah, no, that's great. And to get that familiarity just within an NFL franchise and have a team already looking at that and using it, and you can showcase that to everybody else.
Exactly. I mean, the whole idea of spreading this out, Vince, as you think, I spread this out multiple teams in different regions, is that, the Marlins see this, the Jaguars see it, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers see it. Everyone wants to do it. Spread throughout NFL, spread to basketball, the Miami Heat see it. The whole idea of spacing this out, one team per sport and so forth. That was the goal behind it. And Kim's going to be a great advocate of this, promoting it within the NFL.
What's crazy is like, you hear this, but now I actually get to see it, which is once you get the first, it's much easier to get the others. So Ryan, I know you've talked to me about other teams that are interested. Today I had a conversation with someone who said, yeah, I'm connected with a few teams out in California who I know they'd be interested. And one of them, oh, I'm sorry about that.
That's one of the teams. It's fine. Don't worry about it. They're knocking down your door.
One of the teams. But he reached out. He's like, yeah, I could hook you up too. And Ryan, you know this. What I've been saying is, let's just focus on the Dolphins. I want to make sure we get that right. Let's walk before we run. I think as a company, we're one where what I'm really proud of is we really, before we try and do too much, we want to make sure we know what we're doing with the fan, right? And I don't think a lot of other companies take on that same method. I think a lot of them really focus on, let's get as many teams, let's get as much money, all this other stuff. Our focus has always been, let's get the best experience possible, and then we'll worry about the other stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, which is fair, because like I see all these different, I mean, just in the sports world, you see so many things out there in a million different varieties that are targeted for fans, but there is so much out there that you need to be good. I mean, if people are going to stick around and actually be a part of it, you want something that does feel like it actually works and is fully thought out. And it seems like you guys have a lot of stuff in place. I mean, to be partnered with the team and give out legitimate fan gear and all that, like that is a really solid thing to have that not a lot of other things do. Like, I don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah. And a few months ago, I would not have guessed we'd be here. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. It happened like this. It really did.
Literally, the whole entire program was set up like this when I landed in Portugal and Amir called me. So this whole entire thing's been done on the fly, and I think it's been a success, and you're one of the big success stories. Speaking of success, can we agree that Boston Celtics are not going to win tonight, Parth? Can we agree that losing
they're going to win? The Celtics are going to win.
Can we put some Flashplays money down on this?
If we make 8 predictions during the game, yeah.
We'll get a thread going. But yeah, they're not winning. The Sixers stink, man.
I'll say this about the Sixers. I don't care if Ben Simmons is out. I would rather face the Raptors than the Sixers. And with Ben Simmons on the court, I might rather face the Bucks than the Sixers. As a Celtics fan.
Yeah, because we owned you all season. Yeah, you're scared of us.
Right. No. When people are like, oh, the Bucks are 2-1 against you. Okay, those 2 games were 1 possession games, and one of them, Giannis fouled out twice.
Yeah, right. People don't really. The Simmons' D is a huge loss because he shuts down one of your guards.
Yeah,
that length that he has. Granted, he can't shoot from anywhere. He can't throw the basket in the ocean, but I mean it's a huge miss for us, and we'll see. I think we're going to win tonight, but you're going to win in 6. That's my prediction.
Yeah. And Sixers are going to get one, but they're not winning this series. I don't see it.
Yeah. We're going to miss Gordon. We really are. I want him. I hope we can get past the Sixers and probably the Raptors. I guess so. I think the Nets are making the game close, right?
Yeah, I saw they're leading by 6. A couple seconds left.
Oh, nice. Yeah. There we go. Oh, well, they're leading by 1 now, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up. Any closing comments? And we'll have you on again once the pilot starts, just to talk about, after game 1. So around the 13th, we'll have you on. But any closing thoughts for the world out there of the Hype Sports Global Virtual Accelerator?
My closing thoughts are the change between 6 weeks ago, however many weeks ago it was, and now is amazing. It feels great. It feels like things are starting to move on. As I'd like to say, wins are stacking up, dubs are stacking up, and that's a great feeling. We're not used to this. We really came in as a young group of guys that really just understood the fan. That was our whole thing. We understood the fan better than anyone else because we are the fan. And we were able to create a good product around it. That's really all we had coming in. But for you, that was enough. And I'm really appreciative of that, because I know for a lot of people that's not enough. That's not enough for them to buy into you as a team. You bought into us as a team. Hype bought into us. Kim bought into us. And with that opportunity, we've been able to build off of that to become a real business, making a real impact. And I'm expecting great things this fall. And I'm sure some of the other companies feel the exact same way I do. So, thank you.
Absolutely. So, Parth, thank you. Give you a real-time score. Unfortunately, the Red Sox are beating the Phillies 4-2. I was going to try to throw that one at you. I forgot we're playing the Sox today. You are miserable this year, though. Let's just agree that the Red Sox are.
Down year for the Sox. Boston sports, we might be at the tail end of it.
Your run of like 50 championships in the 5 sports, including like MLS, everything else is over. Is that what you're saying? So
we'll see. We got Newton and Studham on the Pats. The Red Sox do this weird thing where we always win one every few years. Like we'll be bad and then we'll be good again, and then we'll win one, and then we'll be bad and be good again. So we'll see if that happens. The Celtics the Celtics are great. I love that team. I don't know much about the Bruins, but I heard that they're like starting to fall off a little bit. But we'll see.
Well, yeah, your goalie left the bubble. He was too scared.
Yeah, he just up and left in the mid. Like he played a playoff game or two, and then was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna blame this on the bubble and go home." So not a great look for him.
Yeah, he's gone. So anyway, Parth, thanks for everything. Thanks for being on. We'll see you at Demo Day. For those out there, Demo Day is September 8th. It's the Hype Global Virtual Accelerator Clubs and Federations, and Parth and Kim from Miami Dolphins will be talking about that, but we'll be hearing from all other 13 clubs, everything from Paris Saint-Germain, where they'll be hopefully talking about a championship. I'm here in Lisbon now, and we'll see. So Parth, thank you very much.
All right, Ryan, that was pretty cool. Glad we can get look at Parth, man. He's on the come up right now. It's great to see.
Yeah, from start to finish. It's really cool to hear him talk about how much he's quote unquote accelerated and what he's got out of this, that he didn't really like accelerators, and he's doing a pilot with the Dolphins. How much bigger do you get during Corona?
Yeah.
He would have never been able to call the Dolphins during Corona and win a pilot. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. So again, thanks to Kim, thanks to Parth. Appreciate you guys coming on the show, and we'll have him again. We already set it up. We booked him for a couple of months down the line. So as the NFL season gets rolling, we'll figure all that out. But right now, by the way, a lot of games right now, Ryan. It is busy right now, man. It's wild.
I'm actually loving this NBA. 4 games in a row. For me, it starts at 6:30 and ends at 4 a.m. So 6:30 at night is the first game. Tonight, 11:30 is going to be the Sixers, and then there's always a West Coast game. I'm pissed off I went to sleep, but I'm a big Lillard fan. I'm a bigger C.J. McCollum fan. I don't know if you know, he went to Lehigh.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, my God.
My rival school. So I was at Lafayette. So, I'm all for the Patriot League. So CJ's Patriot League, he's our star. So I'm actually pissed off I went to sleep last night at 1 a.m. and didn't stay up till 2:30 or watch until 5. But tonight, I don't know. The NBA is great. I love seeing. I think these bubble games are awesome. I think the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup if your boy Joe there can stop touching the cup there in the office. And the Phillies are turning around. I think we're in the playoffs right now. If the season ends today, I think we actually qualify for the playoffs because they.
Yeah, I think they do too. Winning percentage and all that, they're at 500. So the Phillies, as of now, they're in the middle of the game with Boston. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure as of today, they are in the playoffs, which is exciting because 5 days ago, everyone hated this team and no one thought they were going anywhere. So that's baseball.
Oh, that's also Philly.
Well, yeah, that's definitely Philly too. So now you got that. Obviously, we were talking with Parth about the Sixers playing the Celtics. You've got, the Flyers Cup game tonight, or game 4 of their series, like or game
the Bruins,
5.
who
Game
really
5.
left
Oh
the
my God.
bubble. Yep.
What's it?
Potentially, we'll run into the Bruins, who are just going to run over after their goalie had to just leave. You know, I don't know if you know the story. My friend in Boston told me it was like a family emergency. He left, and it was like resolved 3 hours later, and he was okay to come back, but they won't let him back.
Oh my God. Okay, I see. I thought he was having a bad stretch, and he was already saying miserable things about what was like being in the bubble, playing in the bubble, and so I thought he was just using it as an excuse. He was just like, you know what, screw this, I'm going home. So okay, that gives some more clarity that I didn't quite have.
Off to me.
Yeah. I'll never forget Ilya Brizgalov. That's
well,
just not...
The best is they did the Flyers. That's the year we had the reality show on the Flyers, so we got to see inside his house and everything he did. The wacko that he was.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was such a wild thing. If you haven't seen Ilya Brizgalov on that HBO special, you are certainly missing out because it is an absolute joy on YouTube. It's like the best 12 minutes you can ever get. So anyway, we got to ask you. It's been 3 weeks, Ryan, but what are you drinking?
Yeah, so I was just up in Douro Valley the last few days. I'm drinking Douro, a white wine here from Douro. Tonight I'm actually in Lisbon. I'm down here to potentially, I think I mentioned it earlier, but PSG won yesterday. PSG beat Leipzig to move to the championship game. So just so everyone out there, a lot of people don't know, the UEFA Champions League, usually they play in every city, and just the finals, like the Super Bowl, is in one location. They took the final 8, moved them all to a bubble, which is in Lisbon. So they've all been here in Lisbon. And instead of playing home and away with goals aggregate, it's just one game. And PSG, who's a proud member of the HYPE Global Virtual Accelerator, I'm going to just tell you right now, when I sat out and said, okay, I have to pick a big soccer club, I said, well, who's going to win Champions League, right? And I was like, well, maybe Manchester United? Nah. Maybe Barcelona? No. Should I pick Man U? No, I said, I think PSG is going to win, so I'm going to pick PSG. So I picked PSG strategically because you've met Vichy at Vichy Sports and Adam in New York. They're doing a pilot live right now with hundreds of people around the world watching these PSG games. The pilot is live. I'll actually send it to you in WhatsApp. You couldn't be any happier if you're Adam from Vichy. And there's other pilots all happening with PSG. So literally, my goal is to pick one big European soccer club. I'd be lying if I really said I thought they're going to win the Champions League. But I will say, for the record, I thought they were, and that's why I picked them. So PSG's here. I'm in Lisbon. I'm going to the match, or the post-party match on Saturday. I'm working on the ticket, but only 100 people are allowed inside the stadium. But I've been assured at the Marriott Hotel, I'm going to be there spraying champagne if they win.
There we go. Okay, I got to get pictures if that happens. I need pictures of you having a great time. Just it sounds amazing. So, all right, I'm rooting for PSEG now, or PSE. No, PSG. PSEG is the utility company in New Jersey where I live.
Company in Philly.
Yeah, so I'm not rooting for PSEG. They can whatever they're doing, they just keep their own business. PSG is where, yeah, there we go. So we'll root for them. And Ryan, this has been fun, man. I'm glad we can get this back together. We're going to keep on rolling again. We're totally back. We didn't disappear. The show is still resuming, so we are happy to be rolling again. This has been New Arenas episode 13. Follow us we're on Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube if you're listening as a podcast. The whole deal. So. For Ryan McCumber, I am Vince Quinn. This is New Arenas episode 13, powered by Fist. We'll talk to you soon.